Here comes the best game intro music you've ever heard. One word. Epic. Well, anyway, this is n8great321 back again with another review for you today, and it is Vectorman on the Sega Genesis. Vectorman was developed by Blue Sky Software and was released in North America and Europe in late 1995, right at the tail end of the Genesis Mega Drive's lifespan in all the major regions. And oddly enough, Japan never saw a release of this game because I think Sega of Japan wanted to focus its efforts on the Sega Saturn, which was becoming the more popular system in Japan at that time. The gameplay has platforming elements as well as the kind of standard run and gun things. You get weapon upgrades and you pretty much just shoot bad guys throughout the level. The levels are fairly linear, but there's also hidden paths and hidden places you can go to get items and power-ups. You can see those TVs or whatever. There's a certain number of those scattered across the level, some in harder to reach spots than others. So for you guys that like to kind of look for hidden secret stuff, you know, that's a good incentive for some replay value for the game. So while the gameplay is fun, I mean, it doesn't set any kind of new standard for platforming games or anything like that. But the thing that makes this game really stand out, obviously, is its graphics. Since it was released so late in the Genesis's lifespan, you can tell that the developers knew how to handle the system because the game looks absolutely fantastic, and it really shows off what the Genesis was capable of. It used pre-rendered models to give the game a 3D look, and it kind of made the Genesis look like it could do more than it really could. Think Donkey Kong Country. They did the same thing for the Super Nintendo in 1994. Despite coming out so late in the Genesis lifespan, it was a real critical and commercial success. It was named Genesis Game of the Year by Electronic Gaming Monthly. I never owned this game when I was younger, but I always remember playing it in store demos all the time and being really impressed with how it looked. The graphics and the sound were really unlike anything I had seen or heard on any Genesis game, and I do think it's probably one of my top 5 Genesis games. It's definitely the best looking one, but overall it's probably in my top 5. This game does have a sequel. Vectorman 2 was released in 1996. Plays pretty much the same. It's got a few weapon upgrades, it's got more levels. Basically, it just, takes what Vectorman did and just ramps it up a whole new level. So it's fun, I have it, I like it, but I really think, for some reason, I prefer the original. The boss battles in this game are really original, really creative too. I love them. You know, I said this game was released kind of at the tail end of the Genesis's lifespan in Europe and North America. And that's really a shame because when Sega kind of cut off its support to this system, it was alienating a lot of users. I mean, people had invested money in the Sega CD and potentially the 32X attachments. So there was still a lot of users still using 16-bit systems, and a lot of great games came out in the kind of late years. I mean, this and I think Comic Zone came out pretty late. A lot of really stylized, cool-looking games, original ideas, and it's kind of a shame that they ended it, but that's what happens. Every once in a while you get a bonus stage in between main stages. It kind of seems out of place to me. I don't really get it, but whatever. The story of the game, again, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant with 16-bit games unless it's like an RPG, but basically what happened is it's the future and the Earth is too polluted, so people ditched Earth, went looking for somewhere else, and they built a bunch of robots to help clean up Earth, because I guess they want to come back. I don't know why they want to clean it up, but something happens to one of the robots and he becomes a bad guy, and so it's up to Vectorman to kill all these robots and I guess kill the bad guy too. So, like I said, pretty irrelevant, but kind of a weird environmental commentary of a story, I guess. Now, the original developer, Blue Sky Software, closed in 2001, but oddly enough, a third Vectorman game was planned for release for the PlayStation 2. It was announced in 2003, but really soon after it was announced, it was canceled because people really criticized it, and it said it deviated too far from what the originals did. It looked pretty generic. It was like a third-person shooter. Really looked like it. He looked like Master Chief in the screenshots you see. So they really kind of like buried that after they brought it out. So that's probably better. Since its release, I mean, this game has been featured in about every best of Genesis or Sega collection. You can find it for pretty much any system from the PS2 generation up. Most recently, it was included in Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection for the 360 and PS3, but for you Wii users out there, it's also available on the Virtual Console. If you're looking just to play the game, to try it out, I'd recommend looking for one of those kind of collection things for PlayStation 2 or PS3, Xbox, whatever, Virtual Console. That's going to be your easiest and probably cheapest way to find it. Finding the cart by itself probably won't be that bad. You know, it's a popular game, so there's a lot of copies floating out there. I think I got Vectorman 1 and 2 for like $2 each, but I got cart only, and the issue is not necessarily finding a box copy, but finding it in good condition, because it's one of those cardboard sleeve ones. It's not the hard plastic case, because it's a late game, you know, they wanted to cut cost. So it's in one of those cardboard sleeves, and those are always smashed up and just look pretty terrible. So, yeah, that's the real issue. It's not really money, it's just finding one in good condition. If you have a Genesis, or are you even interested in Genesis games at all, this is definitely a must-play. I mean, it really shows off what the system could do in terms of graphics and sound. It's just a really good-looking game, really original-looking. Play is really solid. So yeah, definitely try it out. That was my review of Vectorman on the Genesis, and as always, I always appreciate reading your comments. And so for now, this is n8great321 signing out.